NOSA community, it is Shamika and I am back. Good morning, coworkers. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I am jumping in today for another working day with you guys. It's Monday. It's March. And I'm pretty committed to doing these every so often. And I think our last topic we were talking about social media posts, and I got some feedback. So thank you guys for that feedback and AI. So that's what we were talking about. But before we get started, I want to welcome our new members. Welcome to the community. Come on in, come to the front of the line. Come on in, hang out with us. I'll probably be here for just a short time today, but hopefully either Friday or next week, I'll come back in. So I'll kind of make it a schedule once I kind of figure out my schedule where it makes sense. So I'll make it probably Mondays, but Mondays can look hairy for me sometimes. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So come on in, coworkers. I know you guys are working. Interested. What do you all do? Like, what do you listen to? Like, what are you doing during the day to kind of keep you focused at work? As you may or may not know, I'm hanging out at the hotel today. I dropped into the group, the company that I use that gets you into really nice hotels for the day, because for me, today is Marketing Monday, and we're actually putting together some content for the conference. So even though working at home is cool, even working in a co-working space is nice too. But being in a hotel, it's just something about it for me. So that's where I'm at. They have hotels by the day. If you don't know, they're in most major metropolitan cities. And you rent the hotel from an 8 to 4, 7 to 3, 9 to 6 time frame for usually 50, sometimes even 75% off of the regular room rate, right? And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and you can hear in the background because I'm in the city, the fire trucks, the ambulance, how the hotel industry or hospitality industry really pivoted during that time. And it's probably hotel, restaurant, and retail pivoted post-pandemic, because I know that's definitely a concern for a lot of people. Before we jump into like my little take on that, feel free to drop your agency information. Make sure you're following us on all our social media platforms to get updates. And if you haven't, we dropped a post about a TikTok live that we did last week on the 29th, for a giveaway, for a NOSACon ticket giveaway. So I would look at that page. I'll drop it here in the comments, and follow the directions and get yourself into the drawing to win tickets to NOSACon 2024. And for those of you guys who don't know what NOSACon 2024 is about, it's the second nurse-owned staffing agency conference hosted by the NOSA Group and partners. And we're excited to return to Atlanta, Georgia with probably close to 200 nurse-owned staffing agency owners throughout the United States. I think last year or the year before, 2022 was a success, hoping to make 2024 even bigger and grander. If you noticed over the last couple of months, I've been asking you guys some questions about products and services that you use, because one of the things and feedback that we got from the last conference was you guys, one, wanted more workshops, right? Hi, Sean. But two, also wanted more opportunities to meet the specific needs of or where you are in your journey. So our first conference, we had people who were very much at the starting phases and people who are already established and maybe have been in the industry for some time. So we made some tweaks, and we have quite a robust conference happening. Like I said, if you want to win some tickets with American funding, go ahead and drop your email. I'll drop the link here as well. If you want to check out what we'll be doing over that weekend, August 16th through the 18th, you can click our link here in the group or our link tree, but I'll drop it also here in the chat box as well. So we're excited to do it again. We took a year off in 2023, and we want to definitely come back stronger and better, and really have a fun-filled, educational, informational, resourceful conference for you guys. And a couple of things that I can share that we're doing includes, we're going to kind of have 2 tracks. You don't have to stick to the track, but just kind of give people guidance for newbies. So nurse-owned staffing agencies who maybe have been in business under 3 years, and then we'll have a track also for established business agency owners who have been in business over 3 years. So hi, Marlandria. So you don't have to follow the track, but we wanted to kind of include that as an option. Also, we'll have an exhibitor space. So we'll have some products and services on exhibit with some vendors that you can, connect with and communicate with. And then we'll also start our actual conference on Friday, and then allow you guys to have a full day of breakout sessions and engagement and connecting with one another and connecting with the speakers on Saturday, and wrap it up on Sunday with a panel and some more networking opportunities as well. So those were some of the changes, and there'll be a few surprises. We'll definitely have a ton of giveaways, prizes, and opportunities for you guys to connect with each other outside of the breakout sessions, just because when there's so much going on, you really don't have the chance to really sit down with someone and have a conversation. So we want to include that as a part of this year's conference. We're excited here at the NOSA Group, so we hope to see quite a few of you guys at the conference in Atlanta, August 16th through the 18th. At the Georgia Tech Hotel and Conference Center. We had a great time there, and a lot of people also opted to make it an extended vacation. So some people came in early, some people stayed a little bit later, just kind of depending on what your schedule looks like. So thank you guys. So let's jump into our topic. So we're working today, so I may kind of dibby off a little bit as I'm talking, but today's topic I wanted to chat about was really about pivoting. The last co-working topic we did was about social media, AI, how to use AI to create sales pitch, also to use AI to create social media content. And those videos are on our YouTube channel. But what I want to talk about today, mostly because I am in a hotel, and I am staying at a hotel, in a major metropolitan city, but I was able to reserve that hotel through a company called Hotels by the Day. And I dropped their information and link in the group earlier, I think it was last night. So, and there's another company called Resort Pass, and both of them kind of emerged post-pandemic, but like maybe right before the pandemic really came to a close as much as it could, and allowed the hotel industry to really pivot, because what was happening in the hotel industry, which is very similar to what we may see happening in our staffing industry, is that there was competition. Things were changing. So we saw a lot of Airbnbs, VRBOs, different types of companies that were kind of coming in and, I wouldn't say taking over, but creating more options for people around what it looks like to stay overnight outside of your home city, right? And I think we all can attest to that being the case with healthcare staffing. Like prior to the pandemic, there were like apps here and there, marketplaces here and there, companies here and there. Most of us could name the companies that were out there, off the top of our head. But nowadays, it's way different. So one of the things and one of the parallels that I like to give people when I talk about the pivot is what other businesses or industries have done. There's probably a ton of examples, but I like to use real life examples, meaning in my real life examples, as far as how they were able to reduce cost, create a second revenue stream for their business, as well as redefine what it means to be in the hotel business, right? Like I said, I feel like the restaurant did it as well. I feel like retail did it to some extent, as we see more and more retail and restaurant spaces closing. So one way that it was really being done prior to the pandemic was really with the commercial space. So over time, less and less companies were using as much commercial space or any commercial space at all. I've had the chance to work with companies that are fully remote, where employees are fully remote. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. We've also seen it at the healthcare space, where some parts of your healthcare experience can be remote. We've seen it happen in banking. I've had it at my credit union where, you would drive through and the teller would be, standing over here in the corner, talking to you through the telecon system. But now, and you guys can definitely chime in, feel free to interact. The teller appears as an audio person that could be in that building or could be in a different building. And that individual is pretty much doing your transaction, but may or may not be physically present in that space. We see it with self-checkout. We see it with pickup, Target pickup or grocery pickups. We see it with Instacart, Uber Eats. Like, we see it kind of in different spaces happening on different levels. So the hotel industry, to me, did it really well as far as comparing to the staffing industry, because there really wasn't something in play that kind of showed, hey, this is what else I can do with the hotel. Like, hotels were very specific. They offered rooms for the night. And I'm just talking about the rooming piece. There wasn't really Hiya. There wasn't like a secondary option around, oh, well, we do rooms and this, or we do this and this. Like, some hotels do weekly rentals. That's usually an option, or long-term rentals, but it was the room for the night style, right? During the pandemic, we saw, those of us who were out there at any level, where hotels were really impacted during that time. And no one was staying at hotels. Some hotels, I had been in hotels where there was no one there but me. If I was there for business, if I was there for other stuff. And over time, you can sustain that for like a period of time, but over time it's costly. It's costly to have day in and day night to pay for employees, lights, other electrical services. And then we started to see, as hotels opened up, or if you were in a state where the hotel didn't fully shut down, they changing how you receive your amenities. So many hotels went from you had to request housekeeping, where traditionally it had been that you got housekeeping as a part of your stay. Also, there were some changes around, some hotels had where they would only, fill certain floors. So maybe the second and third floor was filled up, but the other floors were kept empty. The level of services. So if you're in a hotel that maybe had breakfast, maybe they limited the time, or maybe they had a to-go type of breakfast, that was a part of the stay. That wasn't like an additional cost. So all those things began to change. And as we moved into post-pandemic, those same things stayed the same. So hotels, no different than this one, even though I'm not here for overnight stay, I've still seen a trend around hotels saying you have to request housekeeping. Housekeeping only comes in after the third day. And a big part of that is that allows them to reduce their staffing, right? So that's one way. And then, of course, access to amenities. Some hotels that maybe have full service amenities have limited hours, whether it's around like a coffee space or a restaurant. It's not like open all day that it maybe had been previously. So one of the nice things about the hotels by the day is that was a part of the pivot, right? So when you don't have anyone staying in the room, whether it's a full day, a half a day, or overnight, your facility or your hotel is losing business. You're in the business of booking rooms. So maybe I've seen variations of it out there, but I want to say probably in 2022 was where I saw like specific companies that were targeting hotels to book your empty rooms at a fee, because in some instances, some money is better than no money. And when you're trying to keep 100-bed hotel or what have you booked, if you don't have anyone saying, even for a night, you're just losing money, and it begins to impact your business over time. So a lot of your chain hotels like Hilton's and Westin's, and it's specific, it's not all of them, really began to look at their needs and identify days of the week, identify times of the year. Like I said, I'm in a major metropolitan city where they could rent out a hotel to this service of someone like me who's a business owner, at home worker, who may want to go out and not work from home that day, or maybe working on a project, and there may be an opportunity to provide a service. So they kind of took on what we would traditionally have seen in co-working spaces, because co-working spaces offers offices, which is nice. So I've definitely done that. But some of the benefits is I first used the resort pass or hotels by the day on a trip that I was taking out of town. I think I was coming to NOSACon in 2022. And I needed to be closer to the city during the day because the flight was leaving in the afternoon. But I didn't want to battle the traffic, have to get up 2 hours early to get into traffic to go and fly out of the airport of my city. So I decided to book the hotel, or book the hotels by the day. Hi, Maria. And from there, that allowed me to, one, have a space that I can work in. So as long as you got Wi-Fi, guys, most of us, we should be able to work from anywhere. And where I can work. And then also that if I wanted to take a nap or wanted to rest or wanted to, freshen up before the flight or anything like that, those amenities were available to me. So it's kind of like being in a little mini studio. And one of the good sales pitches or things that really made it worth my while to me was the fact that I wasn't paying the traditional $300 that this room or some other room may cost, because I'm not staying overnight. And this type of service can be used, whether it's for what I used it for, because I was catching a later flight. It can be used if your flight was delayed and you're kind of in limbo with your flight and you want to get rest, or if you're changing time zone. So this can be used in a lot of different dynamics. But I also started to, after that experience, think about using it because you can also rent meeting rooms in the same way for the day. So you can rent meeting rooms for the day. You can rent a room for the day, which is what I did. You can also rent spa services or access to spa services if you're at a hotel that has spa services for the day. And that's where you see more of like your resort pass in areas where they have, all-inclusive amenities and spa services and stuff like that, or access to them for the day, especially if you're out of town and you travel a lot. And it's also something that you could definitely share with your staff who do that as well. So if you have staff who are travelers or who are coming out of town, talking to them about this type of amenity is really nice, because it allows them to, rethink, hey, if my travel changes, or if I wanted to come in early, you don't have to make a full commitment of it overnight. Say if you don't want to. So how does that connect to the healthcare staffing business? I think it connects in a lot of different ways, just because healthcare staffing has changed and it's required quite a few of us to pivot. Some people have pivoted all the way out of the industry. Some people have stayed within healthcare and opened other businesses. Some people have changed who they're staffing, as far as who you provide your services to, where many people highly focused on the nurse, CNA, tech piece of the industry. But there's tons of other elements of the industry. I've spoken to lab techs, I've spoken to pharmacy techs who travel, who have per diem needs, certified medical assistants who also have those types of needs. So when you're thinking about, hey, what else can I do? Especially if you're in a place where you might be stuck, you really want to think through the bigger picture, right? Even as far as like factories, if you're in a town or area that has a lot of factories, they have needs as well. So when you think about your business, I encourage you guys not to focus on the smaller piece of the pie versus the pie itself. It's staffing. Where's their need for staff? Some people have worked with cleaning companies to provide support staff. I've definitely seen quite a few people jump into that temp to perm space, which is a great resource when it comes to meeting the needs of your client, because that should be the ultimate goal. Sometimes when you think about healthcare staffing, we only focus on the per diem and temporary space of it, but the real goal is to meet the needs of the client. So if that's per diem, travel, local, permanent, temp to perm. You want to make sure when you're communicating with them, you're offering all of these options. And as well as if you're an agency that does CPR classes, if you're an agency that does a CNA school, you want to sell every element of your agency to your potential client so that they're aware that, oh yeah, I do this too. And that doesn't have to be a later conversation when you have them on the phone already and you can really touch on what it is that you do. Oh, gosh. Okay. So you guys feel free to tell me what else you're doing to pivot your business. If anything, I know within the group, there's a lot of questions around how to get clients and things of that nature. I don't think that there's really a one-size-fits-all style of getting clients. So I will say that you want to get clients, you want to be consistent about it. I think I put a post on my stories about consistency, because consistency matters and it really helps you build that skill. So if you're not naturally someone who's comfortable talking to strangers or talking to new faces and, engaging with people, getting that day-to-day work in really helps you to be able to be ready so that you don't have to get ready. And also be comfortable so that when you are talking to clients, the conversation is easy. It's not a choppy or difficult conversation. And it's not to say that you won't be nervous, but really just to say that you're able to communicate what you can offer them and what's in it for them.